Okay. Discuss and possible approval to amend the previously approved location of a historic marker to recognize the African American school. Mr. Kaufman?
So this item is back again. You remember back in 2020, we worked with the school, GISD, to put this together. Aaron's here to make a report to you on this topic, but hopefully this will be our last meeting to have this on the agenda tonight. Thank you. Aaron, I'll let you take it over, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mayor, Council, Mr. Manager. So the request is to change the location approved by Council back in 2020 for placement of the marker along the city's Moments in Times trail near Lambert Branch Park to a location closer to the school building original site along Keith Street, near what is now the city-owned Fire Training Center. And if you'll recall, this came to us in 2020 from Granbury ISD, wanting to recognize the location of an African-American school that once stood along Keith Street. And Parks Board and Council back in 2020 approved the location at Lambert Branch Park. Then I came before you back in December 19th, 23, asking to change that location to Keith Street, near the original location. So this item was postponed at that time to give staff additional time to research possible property restrictions that could result from the placement of Texas historical markers on said property. We did determine that there are no restrictions if you do place a marker on a piece of property. If you need to move it for any reason, you just simply inform the Texas Historic Commission of your intentions so they can update their records. Currently, the records indicate that it would go to Lambert Branch Park, but there are no exact points yet because we haven't installed it. So we were kind of on the fence as at that previous meeting as to put it inside the property or outside the property. So it would be our recommendation to get some guidance from you. We could certainly replace it inside the property, inside the fence. It would be a little safer from any potential vandalism. And if we ever chose to develop that property or needed to use it for anything, we could always move it at that time. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
I might just add something to your report. Through this process, there's a neighbor that actually is aware of this school being there in his lifetime and would like it located inside the fence to protect it from vandalism, also to be more closely located to where the actual site was. There's no restriction in the marker. In fact, it talks about two schools that were for the black community back in the old days in the 1860s and so on, and it tells about a lot of history there. So there's no restrictions where you put it. But Mayor Nen Hulett, former Mayor Nen Hulett, has been advocating for the Perkins family in their time out of town, or they would be here tonight. But I told Nen that he didn't need to speak unless he wanted to, but we would take care of this and voice the concerns of the citizens to put it inside the fence. And staff has no objection to anywhere you want to put it. So we would certainly endorse whatever you want to do and get this done. The plaque has been provided to the location. I believe it was paid for by the Texas Historical Commission instead of the normal routine that we would pay for it, or the Historical Commission here in the county. So this is important to the state for this to be installed somewhere, and we'd like to do it as soon as possible, wherever you prefer. Now we'll answer any questions.
Vale? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Aaron. Just two questions. I mean, have we encountered any vandalism with any of our markers around the city over time that you can recall?
I don't believe we've had any markers vandalized. Okay.
And what's the procedure for, maintaining these, keeping them up, cleaning them, keeping them legible, et cetera?
Well, the material that this one's made out of, we haven't had any that we've had to clean. Some of them are mounted on frames that have been painted, and we've had to repaint the frames. But this one will be on a pole made out of stainless steel, and it would be mounted in, I believe, 3-foot by 3-foot concrete, slab of concrete, so to prevent mowers and things from bumping the pole
Gotcha.
during maintenance.
You know, I might just add to that, that the Sons of the Republic of Texas took on a project to restore every historical marker in the community, and they did that about 3 years ago, and that was a very much needed service. But things do get old and need refreshing, and we've got a great group of volunteers that have done that in the past.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, so Chris, are we looking at the proposed marker location according to the map, or the approved marker location is the new site?
Let's propose.
As you can see, that's what we're talking about, placing it in that area tonight. Either on the roadside or inside the field. And it would probably be, how far inside the field would you need to mount it?
I
3 or
would
4 feet?
probably butt the 3-foot by 3-foot concrete up next to the fence, so it'd be close enough you could read. We don't want to have to space it where you get a mower between the fence and the sign. I would get as close as possible.
Okay.
Other comments, questions? Anyone?
And Mayor,
Do you want to speak?
Mayor, can I
Yes.
call up former Mayor Hulett up to the mic and make sure that we have all the details?
It all depends on him. If he wants to come up.
Then I want to make sure that you've been working with the family, and I know it's very important to them on the location and what we're trying to accomplish. To us, it's another marker, but to them, it's a sentimental value that it brings historical value to them. So I just want to make sure we all get the same information. That way we can make the same, or make a decision based on your
Well,
information.
thanks for inviting me up here, and council, mayor, and city manager. I have worked with them, and I think the best thing to do would be to get with Aaron and Joe Perkins and look at exactly where he wants it at, because it's not too much more further than where you guys are talking at. But I think there is like a pecan tree right there that is right there at the area. But it's not, it's probably not 5 feet inside the fence or so, but I mean, it's a pretty simple place. And you can read it from where he's wanting to put it at. And I think when Chris talked about the neighbor, they're on board with that also. So, you know, I think once you say, hey, let's put it inside the fence there, and Aaron wants to work with the family and some of those folks and say exactly where he wants it at, I think everybody would be happy with it. You think it's okay, Chris? I mean, you know.
Appreciate it. Chris, what kind of latitude do we have on this location? I mean, are we just saying in this general area, or how do you want that
Motion?
motion? Yeah.
I would just make a motion to let our director, Aaron, get with Mr. Perkins and find a suitable location that meets both their needs.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a motion, just place it inside the fence and work with Aaron to know the exact location of it, so.
Yeah.
But definitely wants to be inside the fence to protect it, like you said, Chris,
Yeah.
and to keep it from.
Whatever Mr. Perkins wants. I think we're all in agreement. We want to make the community happy with the marker. There's nobody said anything negative about putting it closer to the actual site, so I think it's a no-brainer, really. It does get old having to bring this up over and over again. So if we can just get some action tonight, similar to what I mentioned, I think we can get this taken care of as soon as Mr. Perkins gets back in town.
Yeah, just make sure that we're agreeing to move it from its originally approved site at Lambert Branch to Keith Street at its original location. And I'll be sure that we place it where it can be read from the back side of the fence, and work with Mr. Perkins to make that happen.
Mayor,
Mr. Rodriguez?
I'll make a motion that we move the marker from Lambert Branch to Key Street and give Aaron the authority with the family to decide on the location of the marker, and that way we can just, that's my motion. Yep.
Okay.
And I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. That will pass 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it, Nan.